Hey guys, this is Ziggy, your host. I wanted to go over gold and do a quick analysis and update. Someone requested it and I'm watching it myself. So without any further delay, let's get into it. As you can see, this is a weekly chart of gold. I'm using data from 2001 all the way to current prices. And then the weekly chart, the most important cycle here is the 244, which is this one right here. As you can see, the cycles fluctuate. Picks the low, pick the top here, but we've been going sideways, and this cycle went down to hit a trough, and now it's about to start turning up somewhere around maybe the first week of August, roughly. Then the weekly cycle goes up. However, you see that gold kind of dipped in, got this nice pop. So what could happen here? Is it an inverse where it goes up and then this thing starts going down? I don't know. I've seen it in the past, but normally weekly cycles go up, gold will follow the weekly cycles, but that's not always the case. So I just wanted to let you know about these nuances. So the weekly cycle is going to be up somewhere from the second week of August. Let's look at the daily chart and see what we could extract there. Okay, so this is the daily chart of gold, GC. You can see I'm using data, roughly around 2016, 17, all the way to current prices right now. And the most important cycle here is the 372, which is this one right here, as you can see. And we just hit a peak right here on the daily cycle. This is the most strongest in regards to, you could say, Bartel and strength. It's up there in strength. But it hits a peak pretty much around the last week of June, first week of July. And now this cycle is down. So interesting dynamics between the weekly and the daily. So the daily is down starting now, and in the weekly is going to start going up somewhere around the first and second week of August. So keep that in mind, make a note in regards to that. Let's look at some seasonality in regards to gold to see if we could get any clues. Okay, in regards to seasonality using gold, percent of month in which gold closed higher than it opened from 2019 to 2023. So roughly this is an average of 5 year. You can see that July, we're pretty strong. August, kind of flat. September, there's really no data there. It looks like November is the weakest using a 5 year. So I kind of build up and see what happens. I go straight to 10 years. You can see that July is pretty strong. It's a little above the 50%. August is also strong too, above the 50%. But then September is very weak. And October is a little weak. But September is the weakest. Go to 15 year. You can see that July is pretty strong. August is pretty strong. But September is weak. So between September of the 15 year and 10 year, they're pretty much in sync. 5 year, there's no data. We go to the max 20 years. You can see that July is pretty strong. August is pretty strong. And then September is pretty weak. Then it's kind of flat. October, November, December. So what we could get out of here is that September is pretty weak. So could it be that we could maybe get a bounce? Maybe stall, July, August, and then somewhere around August or this month start dwindling lower into September. That's a possibility using the seasonality. Is it guaranteed that this is going to happen? No, but at least in regards to seasonality, what typically has played out in the past. Okay, so this is another seasonality chart I like to watch. And in regards to gold, you can see that we're hovering around year to date 4.63%. If we had the 5 year, you can see that it kind of goes sideways here, and somewhere around July the 19th, things start grooving and moving, grinding higher. Like all the way to like August 7th. And then kind of down to sideways. Maybe August 24th, maybe a fail new high. And then it goes down into September. So it shows that September is actually weak. But here we have dates on average. Not that it's going to play out exactly like this. But, you know, it's going to give you a ballpark. Just for you to get a time reference. So 19 all the way to the August 7th, kind of sideways, chopping, consolidating. August 25th, final peak down to the 26th. We had our 10-year average. You can see that it's somewhere around that ballpark, July 19th, around there. And this one just continues grinding higher all the way to August 25th. So the 5-year gives you the 8th, the 10-year gives you the 25th, and then pushes even to September the 29th. So it confirms that September is weak. So there's a possibility that we could probably start getting a rally, you know, from now, July into August, and, you know, push down into September. At the 15-year, you can see that the 15-year already made a low around June the 22nd, and it just starts grinding higher. It kind of stalls around August 8th a little bit, kind of goes sideways, but still grinding higher. August 25th, and still kind of sideways. And the 15-year gives you a peak somewhere around September 21st. So if this doesn't play out, you know, the 5 and the 10-year going down in September, this could be probably the seasonal trap where, you know, normally on the 15-year, it continues going up into the September the 21st. So that's the 15-year and the 5 and the 10-year in regards to seasonality, the probabilities of what could play out. Okay, in regards to the commitments of trader report, the blue line over here, this is non-commercial, pretty much speculators, and the dark kind of black gray is commercial. You can see the commercial has just been going sideways, not really taking the highs and not really taking out these lows of May 8th. You got this high here. So it's kind of consolidating. You know, there's not really much commitment in regards to the commercial, in regards also large speculators. Red line is retail. This is not important. That's you and me. The big money is these guys, large speculators and commercial. And some say that probably commercial is the more important one. But you can see that it's just kind of sideways. Nothing indicating an edge here. Just consolidating as of now. Although, however, you see this nice pullback. It really didn't do much. Just kind of pulled in, but just kind of sideways. Okay, so this is something I noticed on my Twitter feed. The gold standard is backed. BRICS to introduce gold-backed reserve currency. He says, remember when the Russian-Ukraine war just had started, and I predicted that Russia and China will launch their own gold-backed currency? At the time, the idea sounded completely foreign, and I was ridiculed for bringing it up. Today, it just became reality. 41 plus countries look like they could be returning to a gold standard. There you go. It's official. BRICS planning to introduce a new trading currency backed by gold at the August summit. So interesting things happening. The gold standard. You can read that. That's on a zero hedge. The stuff here, you know, Yellen talking about what she said. You think the United States can rest assured that the dollar is going to play the dominant role in facilitating international transactions and serving as a reserve currency in the years ahead. I don't see that role being threatened. And here's the guys right here. Interesting. So I just wanted to put that out there. Just notice it today. So it's interesting. Keep an eye on gold. Keep an eye on the dollar. See what's gonna play out into the future. Let's look at our I'm gonna end it here with this video with my simple glance chart, looking at just gold futures. As you can see, the value area high of 1966. We're below that. Point of control on the monthly is 1818. We were hitting the linear regression channels. I've always said keep an eye on the linear regression channels. It doesn't hurt. Maybe put that on your chart. This kind of tells you when you're very overextended and very toppy. And that was happening here. And we're kind of a little weak, but the trend is up. But you can see that there's some weakness. The Hekanashis now are full, but the white candles are indicating that the trend is up. MACD has crossed over for the, it became official in July, but June looks like it crossed over. Now looking at the weekly chart, you can see that the MACD crossed over negative around April. It looks like now it wants to turn positive. So one of my strategies are to look at the weekly and then kind of bounce off the daily. But the weekly has to be giving me the signal. You can see market sentiment has been exploding to the upside here. Monthly is flat. And the daily kind of pulled back in. As you can see with price action, once we hit 2085, linear regression channel is pointing down. You're below the 20, you're below the 50. That's the 20. This is the 100 SMA, and I don't know where the 200 is. Well, the 200 is down here. That's what, 1867. So going back to the weekly, you're below the 20, but above the 50 SMA, 100, and the 200. So it's still strong. Linear regression's channel pointing up, but the daily is a little weaker. You're above the cloud. This is going to be good support right here. If it ever goes down there, 1849. And this could be a good area if it dips in to accumulate. I would accumulate if I see it really. If it hits here, I will start building a position. I got stopped out around 1960. I got in and I got stopped out when it did this pullback. So it was a loss. And now I'm just watching a Tom D. Mark candle just kicked in for July the 3rd, or this week that just passed. So let's see how it's going to, react here. I'm seeing some things here. It looks like it wants to turn positive. And it's kind of bouncing off this linear regression channel right here. And the daily, you're battling the, let's open this up a little more. You're battling the 20. Actually, let's expand this a little better. There we go. That's better. Maybe open it up here, and I'd like to see. So you're battling the 20 SMA. You got value area low, and this is 3 months. Point of control is 1972. So if we were to go trending higher, I bet you the target will probably be this midpoint, point of control, and the 50 SMA. You got the linear regression channel right here. So this is going to be all kind of resistance, but it all depends how far it's going to push into bearish territory. And you can see that this is a strong level right here. But so far, it's the mobile bands are positive in the short term. MACD is positive. Volume is kind of weak, but we'll see how that's going to play out. I bet you that target is going to be that 50 with the point of control if we get this nice little pop. Let's look at some levels, and I'll end this video. We'll start off with the daily. So far, the daily is positive. You're above 1925, so that's good. And you can see 1941, you're very overextended to the top side, so it could fluctuate here. On the weekly, as long as you're above 1925 daily, weekly, interesting. They match. And you hit this top of 1942 for the week. If you're going to push higher, 1951 all the way to 1960. If it's going to pull back in, that should hold 1925. The next low will be 1908. For the monthly, you can see that the midpoint is 1950. So if we're going to continue pushing higher, that'll be your first target up there. You can see this trend line from here. I think that's where I got stopped out, somewhere around here. And it's probably going to backtest this trend line from the bottom and see if it could grind higher and test 2085 again. But if it fails that trend line, be careful, because then that could lead us into maybe a possible low into September, since we know September is weak. But we know seasonality that July and August are very strong. It can start grinding higher. And I already gave you the dates on regards to the seasonality. So keep watch that. But so far, keep on watch. But so far, it's looking good. We got, positive daily candle here. And maybe this could be the beginning of the move into July and August going up. So I'm going to sign out. Hope you like this video. Let me know your thoughts on gold. What do you think? The bricks and all that stuff. And, it'll give you a little bonus of the dollar. If the gold is going to be, grinding higher, then targets for the dollar be that 101 and even 100. And I've been having a target for the longest of $98. So if that's going to play out, that means gold could be pushing higher, maybe test this high, maybe stall around June, July. But, that's too early to tell, into the future. But I'm just kind of eyeing the dollar and gold. So a little bonus there for the dollar. Good trading, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on gold.